What's up, guys? Bonafide Hustler here.
College Picker here.
Aisha here.
Jennifer here.
All right, what's going on, guys? Welcome to the Green Room Hangout. This is Selling on eBay and the Grind of Life. It's going to be a really popular and amazing show. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. We have a lot of Green Roomers in the feed, too, watching it. So, welcome to the show. I am the Bonafide Hustler. I reside in Austin, Texas. I flip stuff I find from garage sales, estate sales, yard sales, flea markets, pawn shops, swap meets, big box stores, and I put it on places like eBay, Amazon, Craigslist, Antique Booth, and consignment stores in town. I'm one of the admins of the Green Room. I'll toss it over to Eric.
What's up, YouTube? Haven't been on in quite a while. My name's Eric, also known in YouTube space as the College Picker. I just got done with a 4,500-mile bike ride from, where did I start? Key West to, I finished in San Diego. So I went all across the country. In the middle of it, I went to the Green Room Hangout. In the middle of it, I worked a little bit. In the middle of it, I hustled a little bit, and then I went out and finished in San Diego. My legs are tired, but now I'm back in Florida hanging out with family, and I'm going to pass it over to Miss Aisha.
I'm Aisha, single mother of 4 kids. Been reselling since 2004. I went full-time FBA in 2013, off and on throughout the years.
Well, cool. Aren't you from Tennessee, aren't you?
Yep. Yes, uh-huh.
Man, Tennessee's in a bad place right now, huh?
It is, yeah.
What happened to Tennessee?
College Picker, watch some news, man.
Dude, I haven't been watching news. I've been locked in my brother's house for Thanksgiving.
Okay. It's on fire, basically. A majority, like not a majority, but some of these big towns, right?
Yeah, it's like 30 minutes from my house. This Gatlinburg, Smoky Mountains. Yeah.
Oh, I've been there.
Yeah.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah,
Crazy wildfires. So anyway,
hopefully it's going the other direction.
Yeah, they're praying for rain, but I don't know if that's going to come.
Yeah, we actually had lots of rain today, so it was.
Oh, good.
Well,
that's good.
Yeah.
Okay. What's up, Jennifer?
What's up, man? I'm
Who
gonna
are
send,
you?
I'm gonna send some of that rain that we've been getting here for 2 days over to you, Aisha, okay?
There we go.
My name's Jennifer. I am right outside of Baltimore, about 10, 15 minutes right outside of Baltimore. And I've pretty much been reselling since I came out of the womb. Not married. I mean, no kids, married. I have 4 four-legged kids. But, you know, eBay, I've been on since 1998, OG eBay, and got more serious with it within the last couple of years. And in July of this year, I learned more about FBA and took a dive into that as well.
Cool. Well, we're going to get into the reselling story pretty soon, into both these ladies. And if you're wondering who are they are ladies of the Green Room. They are extremely vocal ladies. They're always talking in the Facebook and the Green Room Life page too. And so we decided it would be great to have them on the show. College Picker, do you have? I'm going to read some comments here that are coming in. Everyone's saying hello, what's going on? Hey, we didn't even do the sound check. Let's just make sure that we sound good, guys. Make sure in YouTube land, if you're watching right now, let us know if we sound pretty good. Also, let us know if you're in the Green Room, a simple G as a comment, that would suffice. I'm just curious to see who's going to come support these ladies from our room. But we're going to get right to this outline as soon as the sound check is good. College Picker says G. Dude, you helped create this thing, man. You don't get to put that. You know that, right? But I think we sound good. All right.
Everyone sounds good to me.
Yeah, the one thing I want to do, I always like fun things like this to get the audience involved. Where's the furthest reach today, man? I think today when I was doing, or was it yesterday when I was doing a show, someone from like South Africa came in. Like I was like, what? No way. So where do you live? Let us know in the feed. We'll get right to the kind of like interview, and you get to know these ladies a little bit better right now. So. Let me go with Leland. Leland first. Leland, you started eBay in 99, was it? What did you say?
98.
98. Okay, so 98. What was some of the first things that you were hustling back then, like using eBay for?
The first thing that I bought was off a classified ad. It was Precious Moment Styles. And my mom actually invested in me with that one. So I used my Polaroid camera back in the day before PayPal was even PayPal, and took Polaroid pictures of all these figurines and put them on eBay.
Wow.
A Polaroid digital camera, right? Not a Polaroid 600?
Like a Polaroid film comes out. Yeah.
And then scan the picture?
Yes.
Oh my God.
There's like major OG in this girl. Oh my
It's like
god.
180p.
Yeah, that's like 5 million extra steps to get an ad up. Anyway.
Yes. But a lot of people weren't listing pictures back then on eBay too. So they, you would stand out if you just had a picture because nobody had a picture.
And digital cameras probably weren't cheap yet, and you
Nope.
might have had a scanner, and that was probably cheaper.
99. Yeah, 99, man. The digital cameras looked like bricks. They were huge.
Wow.
Yeah.
And they were like 1 megapixel, and like that was like
3.5-inch floppy.
Right.
It was so crazy, man. Anyway, Jason Clark's in the feed, by the way, ladies. He's saying that's straight OG. That's right.
OG.
Julie Johnson from the Green Room from Washington. I know where she lives. Well, I don't know the state she lives in. That's pretty creepy. I know where she lives. She says, I use a jam cam. It was horrible. What is a jam cam? Anyway, if anyone in the feed knows, besides Julie Johnson, let me know. So let's go into Aisha. When did you start eBay again, Aisha?
2004.
2004. Okay.
Yeah.
So, ladies, where do you mostly source your stuff from? Aisha first. Like, when it comes to eBay, where does most of your inventory come from?
Number one place, garage sales. And I hit up a lot of thrift stores, and I do, I do some retail arbitrage for eBay.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
The retail arbitrage for eBay, is it because the Amazon market's a little sketch and or do you want to, is it a highly maybe returnable item and you want to go eBay route?
Well, I started it last Q4, picking up like a lot of accessories for the hot items. And I found I could get a lot more money on eBay and sell a larger quantity than I could get them into the warehouse and for FBA. So that really got me started. And then I watched Teresa Cox. She did a green room show about doing RA for eBay, and I got more into it after that.
I remember that show.
Yeah.
I was outside Starbucks in Jacksonville on my bike trip.
It was, yeah.
Cool. And then you, Leland, when you deal with eBay, where are you getting most of your stuff from?
Pretty much the same as Aisha. I think we all kind of start with the garage sales and the thrift stores. They're, more easily accessible and they're cheaper. Your ROI is going to be a lot higher with garage sales, obviously, but thrift stores are more abundant and they're there every day. But like Aisha, I recently just started doing RA with eBay, actually.
Okay. Yeah, I still love the garage sales, as everyone knows. I don't cover all of that stuff on ride-alongs. College Picker, whenever you come into town, it just seems like that's one thing that we absolutely end up always doing is garage sales together. But it is a lot of fun. There's just, people in the feed probably know exactly from my videos, like the thrill that I get. And I think it's something that everyone should be doing. There are a lot of things that make it easy to hunt these garage sales down. If you ever want to know, like, how do I find them? Like, how do I get lucky? And like all this stuff. There's simple apps, gsailor.com or gsailor as an app, GSALR. And then there's another one called Yard Sale Treasure Map. Straight to your mobile phone. You can see what's in your vicinity down by the day. You can, click the little pin drops. Aisha, you're like notorious for putting these, and I never knew Tennessee had such amazing, like you have so many garage sales in such a tight little place. Eric, you know what I'm talking about? Those maps.
Yeah, she always posts the pictures. It looks like a 9th grader with like cystic acne.
I'm telling you. But do you find are you garage selling with that? I mean, if you guys can picture out, a city, right? And then it just seems like red dots everywhere to where you almost can't see the ground. My question to you, Aisha, is what time would you get up to hit these things, and what time do you get done? Because there's so many.
Typically, I like to get up about 5:30, just so that I can get everybody ready and out the door. And
And you're taking the whole brigade with you. There's no child care involved.
That's correct. Now Friday,
wow.
Friday they're in school now, so it kind of they tag along with me to the early sales, and then I get them to school, and then I hit the the rest of them by myself. But Saturday, it's the whole gang.
The whole crew.
Yep.
That is true hustle. So when you come up to a garage sale, does the van doors open and then out go all the critters and it just gets mayhem, or is it more or less like, hold on, I see something, and then you buy some stuff for them, give it to them in the car? Like, how does it kind of work?
It depends on their mood. Like sometimes they're cooperative, and sometimes they're more I don't know, I guess not cooperative. If they're good and I know I can get to the sale and back, I'll let them go. But if they're like wanting everything and giving me a hard time, forget it. I'll get you something.
Yeah. It should also be clarified that one of your daughters she's definitely older than all the other ones, right? So she helps you a lot, right?
Yeah, that's right. She's 12. Then the
Okay,
other
so you have
one's
one that's 12, and
R6.
that one, yeah. So that one helps out a whole bunch, I would imagine, right?
She does, yes.
Okay, cool. Because I don't want people out there to go thinking like they're just four little ones running all over the place. Like, I would say 1 or 2 of your kids are definitely, they kind of know like stay and like chill out kind of thing, right?
Oh yeah, yeah. But they're
Okay,
good.
cool.
I've got like a baby carrier. Like sometimes I'll just strap the baby on the baby carrier if it's a community sale, or we make it work.
That is straight hustling right there. That's amazing. There's just no excuse. There was just no excuses, Eric. I don't think. I mean, we have Aisha who's waking up at 5:30, hitting up garage sales with her 4 kids. There's just no excuses. I mean, I'm sorry. I don't know what to tell you.
I don't have a car right now. Is that an excuse?
It might be an excuse, but you do have panniers on your bike, I think. So like, that's not an excuse.
My bike's in California. Can't do that either.
Yeah, but other people have cars, man. You can just, if you're jazzed up.
I have a Safari at my mom's house. I could put panniers on that. I need to get a bike rack though.
All right. So, I heard both you guys, both you ladies, guys. I say both you guys because we're like bros here, right? But you guys, you ladies, engage with Amazon, right? And Aisha, your Amazon pie versus your eBay pie, what does it kind of look like? If someone's to look down at your like resale pie, like would it be 20% Amazon, 30% Amazon?
It used to be, before all of the restrictions went into place, I was about 75% Amazon, 25% eBay. But after all the restrictions came up, I really got scared. Even though most of them didn't affect me, I was afraid that they would. So I've switched it now where about 80% is eBay and about 20% Amazon. Yeah. Yeah,
you got to make some choices when those restrictions are coming down, and the playscape drastically changed this year. I mean, everyone saw it happening. It sucks, but then again, it's usually some really terrible sellers that made it bad for all of us. It's some counterfeit stuff here or there, or someone didn't disclose the right condition, numerous times, 1,000 times over, and then that's it. It makes the brand look bad. But anyway, you look at it. So Leland, what does your pie kind of look like when people are looking top down on that now?
Well, I guess it's interesting because since I just started in July, I kind of went full force into FBA because I was looking to take some of the load off of myself because I do this solo. And then, all of a sudden these restrictions, literally, like, let me give you an example. Last night, I went sourcing. I would say primarily for Amazon because I'm trying to get some more stuff in for Q4. And literally maybe 1 out of 5 items that I scanned that were good to sell, I could sell. So like wow. 20% wasn't restricted. So, seeing that time after time after time, I get why they're doing it. I get it. And I have to respect the brands and respect Amazon's, platform, but, it just means that you have to diversify. I mean, we've talked about it before, but, I would say my pie is probably pretty close to Aisha's, to be honest with you.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, everyone's got whatever makes them happy. I mean, there's some people that are probably, I know for a fact, are like, full blown FBA all the way, working crazy hours, and that's what they like. And, the thought of them maybe to go into eBay is just like, no, I really like Amazon better. That's good. There are tricks to it, and there are ways to get ungated, and sometimes you have to pay to get ungated, which really sucks. But whatever makes you happy is really the way you got to go. And diversification is always one of those top things you always have to be thinking about. That whether you play in eBay or you play with Amazon or you play with Etsy or whatever, you have control, but you don't have as much control as that platform itself has on you. So you just got to do the best that you can. And, I support the eBay thing. I've been doing it for years too, and I love it. And it's a lot of fun. It still is. And as long as you're pretty transparent and you got good pictures and all that kind of stuff, you can sell stuff with broken pieces, missing this or that. As long as you're honest, I mean, you can get the return rate so low. And you can still make good money doing it. So anyway, we'll go into the feed here for 1 second. I do want to ask one question to the feed, and that is, what does your pie look like? When someone's looking top down on, are you 80% FBA and 20% eBay? Are you the vice versa? What are you? Just let us know. I want to read a couple responses out. Going to the next question right here. So we can kind of like go over that. We can bypass one of the things because you ladies alluded to the fact that Amazon's risk is pretty crazy. But when we look at Amazon's risk versus eBay's, you honestly feel more in control with eBay. Aisha, like that's where you're getting less returns, no restrictions. You feel better about it, right?
Exactly.
Okay.
The restrictions with Amazon, just the way they come down, you could have a lot of money invested in your inventory, and then you have to pay to have it all shipped back to you. Where
Okay.
you can kind of get around it, with FBM, because you're able to, if you get restricted, you can just, remove the products that way. You don't have to pay, but that's a lot of, risk too, because we all know FBA, you make more money than FBM usually. And then with eBay, you don't really have, that kind of risk at all.
That's true. The real risk is you might be missing out on, let's say, scalability, right? But then how are you supposed to scale big things if you're restricted on a lot of things, right?
How do you scale if your risk? It's like you're scaling your risk.
Yeah, like how do you do that when, you send
Well, I
in
guess,
something that has no sellers, right? And then by the time it hits the stuff, it has 32 sellers. Have you ever had that happen? You send something to FBA, there's no one there. And then lo and behold, when your stuff finally hits the warehouses that it gets dispersed to, which is like 6 to 10 days later, it seems, there's like a multitude of people on these listings, right? And they're already like, checking each other out and everything. It's just, it's a little discouraging sometimes. And I get it, the power of big groups sharing things, it probably isn't a good idea, right? I mean, price erosion's already happening right in front of our eyes without sharing these things in groups. And that's the nature of FBA. People are joining it every single year. And I think one of the better things that Amazon did this year, College Picker helped me out on this one, but they restricted people that have never sold on FBA before for the Q4 season, which is good. I think that was a really smart move, but
it's not good for
it doesn't feel like it did anything. I mean, it didn't feel like it really affected anything. Like the restrictions are the restrictions, any way you look at it. So anyway, I still love FBA, but I think it has a place in the hustle. Let's just put it that way. I think it just has its own place in my own hustle. Let's go into explaining your routine. We're going to Leland first on this one. Typical sourcing day, Leland. And first of all, by the way, before we get into that, Aisha, you're a full-time hustler, right?
That's right.
And then Leland, you are full-time or part-time?
Full-time.
Full-time. Okay, cool. So let's go into your routines real quick. Leland, explain your routine for a typical sourcing day. I mean, just like a typical, like you're going out, like I'm going to find some cool stuff. And it's not a Saturday morning, all right? Just a sourcing day. Because I know what everyone would probably do on a Saturday morning. But like, what would a typical sourcing day
like
look
a Wednesday?
Yeah, like a typical day.
Well, I like to do a lot of research beforehand. Especially now that I'm, popping on a lot more RA for eBay. I like to, use the software, the monthly software that a lot of people use maybe for FBA and research some items. And, if they're top ranked items, maybe on Amazon, I'll take and research some of those on eBay as well and make a little list. And while I'm out, I'll hit a couple of thrift stores and then use that list and hit the, retail stores that are in that area too. That way I'm maximizing my time. So that's how I'll start. And then, once I'm done for the day, see, we have one car between the two of us. So, my wife works 5 a.m. to 5 p.m. right now because she works at an e-commerce fulfillment center for a big retailer. I'll just say it that way.
Okay.
But I drop her off at 5 a.m. and then, nothing's really open where I source that early. Unless I find a 24-hour store. So, I'll come home, do like my exercise and then head right back out, and then go from there.
Cool. So how long do you source? Would it be, am I fair to say that it's between maybe 9 and 3, 9 and 4?
Yeah, that's probably about right. Yeah, I'll do all my sourcing. Yeah, 5 to 6 hours. That's probably fair. I mean, it all depends. Like, how it goes while you're out there. If you hit a home run on your first 2 stores, maybe try 2 more stores instead of the 10 you had planned. You don't want to burn out. So then I'll come back home, drop the stuff off, go pick up, my wife, and then, usually come back home. But now that, things have changed with the way I'm sourcing because I'm shifting back to eBay a little bit more. I've been doing a lot of the shipping and listing at night, during the day, and then the sourcing at night when there's like nobody else out there.
Cool. And by the way, before we get into Aisha on the response here, let me tell you what people's pies are looking like. Yeah, it sounds like we're talking about pizza, but we're not talking about pizza, guys. We're talking about our business here. Okay, so here we go. Debbie Keith, I'm dropping Amazon on about 95% eBay now. Interesting. Okay. Jason Kreider, 100% eBay. Mario, 90% eBay, 10% Amazon. Look at this. Jano Justin, oh cool, 90% FBA, 10% eBay, full-time. I love not holding physical inventory. I've met him before. He's an amazing guy. Jonathan P, we have 100% Amazon, but I also work a regular job. I would do eBay if I had the time. So yeah, you know, people's pies are getting kind of, you know, when FBA was the biggest rage, it seems like now some people are reallocating some of that risk somewhere else. There's a lot of that. I see it. So
there was
okay,
a
let's
little
go.
bit of Etsy pieces of pies in there too.
Yeah, there's a tiny little Etsy piece.
Yeah,
It's
like one little Etsy sliver.
Dude, it's like one micro pepperoni on the pie, dude, is the Etsy piece. 70% eBay, 30% Amazon, 70% eBay, 30% Amazon, 100% sexy. That's Lee Shubey, by the way. Anyway, Aisha, did I say his name right? Shubey?
Shubet.
Sorry.
Shubet.
Okay.
I've been calling him Chubet for like 2 years, so hopefully it's Chubet.
Chubet. Okay. All right. So that was your typical routine sourcing day. Leland, real quick, back to you. When do you list all this stuff? You find all this cool stuff. When do you list it?
Well, what I try and do, it depends what I get. Sometimes I take pictures of the stuff in the store. I'm not going to lie, but that's more RA. And I have literally
like you place it down on the floor. My guess,
yes,
right?
Yes.
Non-distracting background.
Well, if it's something awesome and it's turning over quick, you might sell it while you're out shopping. Then you got more money right in, you know, your PayPal account, and you can get some more.
Yes.
So there's no shame in my game, okay?
Yes.
But
you're putting this on eBay, right? You're putting this buy it now on eBay, or are you putting this on Amazon?
Well, it depends. The ones I'm talking about where I'm taking the pictures, eBay. Okay. But yeah, I will do some, you know, some stuff on Amazon, but not as much, just because it's, you know, it's newer to me. It's not, you know, what I'm as familiar with. But if I'm getting used stuff that's not going, you know, right on eBay like that, I'm like that, because, you know, you can take good pictures in the store of retail items, but you have to have a nice setup for the used items, in my opinion, to maximize your profits. I'll try and take pictures of that as soon as I get home. That part, because if not, it'll pile up. I mean, it's just, that's what will happen with me. It's happened before and many, many times, and does not bode well for family life.
So if we see any eBay listings of popular items with shiny speckled floors as the background.
The lighting has to be good. There's like,
it is. Well,
so many lumens everywhere.
Yeah.
Well, and sometimes I know what you're talking about.
Sometimes there's carpet in the stores, or, you know, you can even take it outside. Like, I've taken pictures outside, like on my trunk before too. Like, I have a dark blue car, so if it's a smaller item, I can put it on my trunk and crop it, and it looks great.
Wow. See, that's just straight hustle right there. That's awesome. My brother E-Money, he does that. He goes right out of a Goodwill, he'll throw it on the concrete, and he'll take a picture of it like right there. I'm just like, okay. I tend to like to do it all at once, but he just does it right in there. Of course, I'm usually the one driving him around.
As a passenger, you can list it. So
exactly, I'm usually driving around like a bona fide chauffeur, and then like this guy is like listing his crap. I'm like, oh my god. Anyway.
Smart time management for him.
Yeah. Okay, so let's go into Aisha on this one real quick. I'm curious to see your typical sourcing day. You said you wake. Okay, this is not garage sale day, so bring the kids to school. My guess is you're probably already woken up by 6:30, something like that.
Oh yeah, definitely. Got to be out of the house by 7. Excuse me.
Okay, out of the house by 7. Kiddos to school by what time?
Drop off is 7:15. And then I've got my 2 youngest that are in daycare, so I have to run them about 5 miles to their school. And I love to take advantage of the morning time when I get, you know, my own time, and I usually go out for a walk, usually probably about 2 hours, because I love to just get out and kind of clear my mind and get ready for the day. The 10th, and after that, I'll make my way back home. And how I'm sourcing as of late, I just have so much inventory. Like, I'm guilty of what Leland was saying. I have so much inventory that just kind of piles up for eBay, and I just keep doing it. Like every garage sale, because I have so many garage sales, I just keep buying stuff. And so when I come home, like I'll just like pull those boxes out and I just list, until I have to pick the kids up again from school.
Yeah, you have some crazy sales days that you post in the green room.
Yeah.
Like the pictures of like your pickups like are just mind blowing. They're pretty big. I'm like, oh my gosh. It's a lot of things sold in like a day or a weekend or whatever. So thank you for posting those pictures. So you list during the day until you feel as if there's a reasonable amount of inventory that you can go out again, right? And start hunting. But it seems like, if I hear you correctly, there's always a good influx of inventory every Saturday coming in, right?
There's tons of it. Like I have boxes. I have to box it up and like just stack it so that I don't look at it until I can get through it.
Are you guys pre-boxers? Like after you list it, you do the box wall, or are you more of the item goes into a little place and then you pull the item and then ship it when it sells?
I used to be a boxer. Like I actually rented a storage unit out and I would box all of my items. There we go. Yep. And I had them numbered, and then like I had a notebook, and then I, eventually set up a document where I had everything numbered and then labeled what it was in it.
Mm-hmm.
And, I had customers that would, want to know like specific questions, and I was always going back to the storage unit and having to get things out. So I kind of outgrew the storage unit too at that point. So now I've moved into getting the big like Rubbermaid tubs.
I've seen your pictures of the Rubbermaid tubs.
Yeah, that's my and it's not working really well, but I'm making do with it.
The box wall spreadsheet sounds actually like a really good idea. But if it was closer, if you didn't have to drive to get the storage unit, like if you had a shed or a warehouse or something that was close, or you dedicated your garage to that box wall, then it would make a little bit more sense, I think.
Exactly.
Yeah, if you have inventory management, in place, even if you're not doing pre-boxing like I'm doing, all that kind of stuff, like I have to go out on Saturdays and a couple days during the week just to maintain decent inventory. And that's one of those things that it seems like she has such a large amount of supply. And if I had that, I guess it's not even a problem. If I had that gift, I would probably do what she's doing too. I'd have some sort of thing going on with all the inventory. That way during the week I could list for hours on end, and it's pretty chill to list on hours on end. I don't know what you guys do, but like I listen to music and I'll listen to podcasts and I'll just do all kinds of stuff, and listing hours on end. Once you have this, is get a camera, take a bunch of pictures, right, and have all these boxes kind of ready to like box it all up, and then I come into a room with my laptop and I just import pictures, 12 at a time, boom, 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 use the shift key, hold down this, whatever, and it's a lot of fun. It's easy, and I'm literally creating my listing while the pictures are uploading in the background. By the time I'm done with my last sentence, which is usually free shipping, continental USA, everything else is pre-filled. I press the submit button, all 12 pictures have already uploaded. It's really fast. And you gotta be using that sell similar button. I would assume both you ladies do that, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah, sell similar button is important because the top things that are sold in the past 90 days always have the best keywords.
Mm-hmm.
So, but you have to always watch for those drop-down menus and make sure that you drop down the right size, or this, the color, or whatever. And in the title too. I don't know if you've ever had this mistake, but sometimes the title has little words that maybe you miss, and it leads to like a return or something like, oh, this is not mint like you said. I'm like,
or just a question where people see the contradiction.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Or they'll say something like that. But sell similar is absolutely wonderful. Confirmed by an eBay person on the phone that if you use the sell similar function, it absolutely has the highest amount of keywords, spamming if you want, in that thing. So it's definitely going to get you more views, and that's how it works. So
Jennifer, are you a boxer? How do you do your eBay stuff?
I used to do that too, and then same issue happened, but I have been doing it with the RA stuff. And then if you get multiples, say if you have like 20 of them, you can leave one out of the box. If there's a question, you just keep that one out of the box, and all the rest are already ready to go. And
that stuff already is going to sell for sure eventually, or you're just going to hold on to it. If someone wants tinsel in July, you'll hold on to it until July.
I mean, really, the only problem that you'll really run into, if you want to call it a problem, is maybe somebody buys two and you have to take one out of the box and create a new, box. But, eBay's all about everything, really, is all about maximizing your time.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. We have Tanya in the feed, by the way. Thirsty Treasures has just joined us, saying hi to the ladies and me and Eric.
What's up?
What is up, Tanya? Good to
What
see you.
up?
Tanya.
What up? What up?
We have Jason Clark firing up the chat with good talk, like he always does. Anyway, let's just look at his latest response here. I don't know what question, but it says, make cash money brands do what they want, find other stuff, and focus elsewhere. Okay, maybe that wasn't the best one to read. Hold on. Here's one. Here's
The
one.
queen of the nubs is
Jason
here.
Clark, 2017 will be epic. That's more like a Jason Clark kind of thing, right there. All
There
right.
you go.
All right. Good to see everyone. We have a lot of people on the feed right now. We have 77 people watching right now, and just it looks like a bunch of green roomers. That's cool. Let's go. We're gonna kind of blaze through this outline right here. Do any of your family help with the business? Leland, does any of your wife help with the business?
No, she hates it.
Okay.
If
Well, that's
I'm being
okay.
honest.
Well,
Yeah.
that's what the green room's for. Then you can just talk
Does
about all
she
your stuff in
help
the
by
green room.
putting a little pressure on you to just organize and sell it faster?
Yeah, and I just, I'm finally starting to get better with that, I think. I thought I had it nipped in the bud when I started to go full force with FBA, but now, I'm basically restarting from scratch, from square one. So I'm going to do
But
it
you've
different.
learned so much. So yeah.
Right. Actually, it's funny because what I've learned on FBA, because, they're more strict about keeping their customers happy. So I will literally clothes that I didn't polybag before on eBay, I do that now. I'm just more careful with stuff. I mean, I always felt like I took care of people, but now I'm just take an extra step, and it seems to be paying dividends, I guess.
That's good. So you do have a fair amount of supplies, I would say, with all this that you're talking about. You pre-order all this stuff and get it all into your house, right? Like everyone else does.
Oh yeah. It's a must-have. And then there's I don't know. I know a lot of towns don't have it, but Prime Now, which is one of Amazon's, the 2-hour shipping. Sometimes you can get it within an hour for $8. They have a lot of shipping stuff on there. So if I shouldn't run out of supplies, but if I so happen to, there's address labels on there, the 2-sheet labels, and they'll be at my door within 2 hours.
Wow.
Yeah.
And how much more premium is that to get that service? Let's say versus an Office Depot, for example.
It's included. Unless you get 1-hour shipping, it's included in your Prime membership.
Oh, really? Interesting.
What city are you in?
I'm sorry?
What city are you in? Because I know
I'm right outside. I'm right outside Baltimore, and they go far. I mean, they go I think 30 miles in every direction.
Okay. Wow. I know they've rolled it out in some pilot cities, or maybe it's established cities, but it hasn't come to everywhere yet.
Right. I think it's primenow.amazon.com if y'all want to check it out.
Interesting. Okay.
Austin should have it.
Yeah, Austin should have it. That's
definitely.
right.
Yeah.
Maybe that's these kind of
Miami has it. Houston probably has it.
Man, I was having a fire the other night at my house. I wasn't setting my house on fire. I was having a fire at my house outside, and people were there, neighbors and family and everyone. And this creepy van comes down the cul-de-sac. I'm like, holy crap. And I'm the kind of guy who stands up and I'm make sure to give them the dirty look, So I don't want them to look my way. I want it to be really uncomfortable so they get the hell out of there. So, but you have to understand, this is 12:30 at night too. So anyone coming down the cul-de-sac at 12:30 gets a dirty look regardless. And it's a weird van, and I'm like, holy crap. It doesn't say free candy or ice cream on the side, which would be even more creepy, but it's pretty creepy. And it stops at this house. And I get the little label on the side and it says Amazon, and they are throwing down a box on the person's doorstep at 12:37 at night. And I'm like, I don't know what this is, but if that's that Prime Now, man, someone's gonna get shot one day doing that. That is crazy. Yeah. I don't know what was. I mean,
they even do
midnight.
Efficient
to me.
I'm sorry. They even do midnight video game releases and everything with them now.
Wow.
New release books, new release video games. So. They really
maybe that's what it was. 12:37 at night. Seriously,
yeah.
That just seems a little off. Anyway, okay. Let's go.
I was going to ask Aisha, how do you get your kids to help? How do you get the girls? Do they help at all? Packaging stuff, pictures, anything?
Yeah, they do. My oldest, she's really getting into hustling herself. So we kind of negotiate. I'll list things for her, and I'll let her sell her things, on my account. And she kind of helps me, with if the items that I sell, she can go into my bins and find the items, and she can match them up to the box that they'll fit in.
Oh
And
wow.
yeah, she helps me with the poly bags and stuff. So that like we just like kind of got a system down now with it.
That's
That's
cool.
awesome.
That's like seriously leveraging people right there.
That and of course she has to have her weekly allowance, you know, that she she always never lets me forget.
That's kind of like Craig Morse's kiddo. She's helping with like cleaning the garage space while he does FBA, and it's kind of the same thing. You know, give him a little bit of incentive, and yeah, I mean, include him in the family business, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay, so we're gonna get down to the greatest tip to share here with the people out there in YouTube land. Leland, what is your greatest tip to share with the people out there that want to get better with eBay?
I'm trying to think the greatest tip. I mean, see, it's not like really specific to eBay. I mean, you just have to like put yourself in the customer's shoes and learn stuff, you know, trial and error. You know, join Facebook groups, join YouTube channels, learn, you know, don't, you know, I see it time and again. I go in these groups and these people are like, you know, how much is this worth? And, you know, I found this. Can you tell me what it's worth? You know, Google is your friend, people. So are the eBay completeds. And, you know, that's how you get the hang of this game. You know, just try and do as much as you can and teach yourself as much as you can and list every day. And
yeah,
eventually, you know, it'll all catch up with you and you'll learn every single day.
Yeah, eBay Completed is definitely your friend. I mean, I would venture to say that that's probably how College Picker and I assessed some of our first finds ever, right, CP? I mean, looking at eBay Completed just to see if there's a market for whatever you're picking up. I mean, you wouldn't really want to touch something that doesn't have a market in Craigslist or eBay.
Yeah, I didn't go all the way back to 1998, but Jennifer, do you know if that was like something that they've had forever, or is that something that they implemented?
What, completeds?
Yeah, the eBay Completed. Do you remember them rolling that out, or was that something that was always around?
I thought it was always around, but wow, I don't even know if I can remember back that far. I know that they always had completeds, and then they added sold to it, so you would only see the sold. Like back in the day, you had to like
the filter. It would filter it. It wouldn't filter it, and now you can filter it.
Yeah, it would just be completed, no matter whether they sold or not.
Yeah.
So
it's always been around for me, but I don't know. It's 2000. Maybe 2004 or 5 when I kind of got into it, so it wasn't as far back.
I would imagine it was, because I don't know how else you would kind of know the demand. So I would venture to say, yeah, it was.
Okay. I got sidetracked. The Nightwing's comment is in all caps, and it says, "I just hit that effing like button." So that reminds me, real quick, if you're enjoying the show and it's you know, and you know who these two ladies are, you're in the green room and you want to support them, you want to support these shows, the green room hangouts on Wednesday nights, do us one favor, one only favor: burn 0.0028 of a calorie and move that finger down to the like button and hit the like button for us. All right, we would greatly appreciate it. We would. All right, so Aisha, what is your greatest tip to share with the people out there that want to get better on eBay?
I think my greatest tip would probably have to be honest in your listings. You know, be as accurate as you can. If there's flaws, if there's stains, if there's anything, and don't hide anything, because the customer is going to see it, and you're just going to set yourself up for a return or negative feedback. That, like, there's so many products that, you know, I've sold that I'll just like reduce the price a little bit, but I'll tell them, you know, there's a little snag here, or there's a, you know, a spot there, and they don't mind. It's them not knowing it, you know, that upsets them. So that would be my number one thing, is just be honest. Be honest in your listings and in your interaction with your customers.
Okay. My number one tip would be to use all 12 pictures. Right? Even if it's a really basic item, it doesn't seem like there's even 12 angles. Try to get, and I'm guilty of, like, on those scenarios, maybe doing 6 or 8, but literally trying to be cognizant of using 12 pictures every single time. You would be surprised with that zoom tool how much stuff you can figure out about an item really quickly. I just bought a pair of Nike free size 12 chukkas today off eBay, like right before the show.
Nike free makes chukkas?
Yeah, they're really rare though.
Are they leather?
No. Okay. Nike Flyknit free. They're nylon. They're awesome. So anyway, I bought a pair of those, and you know, the description was real, like, you know, worn a few times, basically, you know, and I just sat there and I was like, all right. And I used that tool, right? There was enough pictures to where I was hovering over them. I was like, all right, I know what I'm looking at. Like, this is going to be fine. So use 12 pictures, because if you're not describing it properly, at least the 12 pictures are going to help you and assist you in getting, no returns or anything like that. So that's my number one tip. College Picker, you got a tip for the people out there? Number one tip, greatest tip to the people that want to get better on eBay?
Someone already put it in the comments. Is just list.
Okay.
Just keep listing.
That's like easiest way out, man. Come on, man. You're gonna take someone's in the comment, man. Come on, man.
I really like doing I like the physical camera, doing the bulk. Like every pick, list, ship, instead of pick, list, and then maybe ship something that's sold. Like not doing everything pieced up or mobile listing. I like actually I'm a picture listing kind of guy.
A picture listing kind of guy. So you're taking a pic and then you are
with the camera, with the physical
actual camera, right?
Like,
my style then, right?
Yeah. Take them batch your labor.
Okay. Yes. Okay. I see what you're saying. Okay. Okay. Cool. Yeah, because there are different ways to do it. Some people just do like one listing, like, all right, I'm gonna take all my pics here, do my thing with the description right here on the cell phone, everything. Then I move to the next item and I do that one. I like to do pick, like Eric said, 12 pictures on this one, 12 pictures on that one, that one, and then box them all up. And then I take my little SD card and I go into the other room where my internet's super fast, and then I make the listings that way. But that's just how I do it, and I seem to like it like that. Okay, so. Here comes the part of the show where we admit the truth. Leland, what is your greatest fault with eBay?
Buying slow-moving items that cluster up the house, basically, and then just being exhausted from, not setting goals, I guess.
Okay. My first question to you, and this is not just me interrogating you or anything, but what makes you buy a slow-moving item? Let me ask you that. Is it an impulse thing in a garage sale and you're like, oh, damn, like I thought it was going to have a bigger market, or like, what is it?
Yeah, I guess it's, you see that it's unique and you're like, oh, well, I'd never seen anything sold like this before. Or, you look at the completeds and you saw that, if you sort highest to lowest or something, you saw that one sold for 100, but don't take into account that the other one sold for $20 underneath of that.
Right.
And then you're just sitting there waiting to try and get that market value that you thought it was, and it's really not.
Right.
You have to understand that, any money you can get back on eBay that was worth your time is going to be worth it. You don't always have to sell it for what you asked. If you're, you buy something for $1 and you can get 20 out of it instead of 100, instead of it just sitting there, that's where I've made a lot of adjustments.
Okay, cool. Thank you for your honesty. Aisha, so let's talk about your greatest fault with eBay. What do you think it is?
My greatest fault has to be buying junk, like just junk that I just buy just because I know it's worth more than what I'm giving for it. And then when I get it in the house, I lack the motivation to list it.
Mm-hmm.
I just kind of keep pushing it to the side because I can do all of my, higher dollar items. And then it just keeps piling up. It's like, I have to get to it.
So did you know it was junk when you picked it up, or you kind of just were like, I know this has some value, it's not as important to you? Is that what I'm hearing you say?
A lot of times, because I go to so many yard sales, I just I don't even look things up most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll think, things might have been going for more at one time and now they're not going for as much. You just never know. Or there could be something that's missing, like it's missing a part or something, so you're not going to get the full price for it. Just different things that cause that. But yeah, I end up getting a lot of like items, and I'm not happy about that.
So don't buy junk.
Exactly.
Don't buy junk. We all do it though. That's the thing. We will all do it. Even like the best of us, we're all going to do it at some given point. And that's kind of the poison of knowing so much about the hustle, is that you're just like on a whim, just picking and blasting things. I got to say, honestly, out of every given month from garage sale items, I probably write off at least $50, something like that, like something around that
stuff
area.
that just doesn't test out to work, or
no, it's just like like Aisha said, like you get it and you're like, oh, it needs a part, and then you're like, then you gets around to like getting the part, and you're like, ah, man, like that sucks. I don't want to do that. Like, you know, you just get around those kind of. It's just those things, and or you scan something way too fast, and then you get home, there's a hole in the shoe. Like, you're like, damn, you know.
Or it was restricted.
Yeah, or sometimes you can't even find the size in the shoe, and like, what the hell do you do there? You know, like, so there's some weird things that can go on. But for the most part, I think knowledge is king, because yeah, if you're writing off 50, but you're making $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, $5,000, then 50 doesn't matter at all. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Can I change my eBay tip? You just reminded me of something. All right. So if you're selling shoes on eBay and you can't find the size, you might be able to find it if you pull the insole out, look on the bottom, and then look in the actual like sewn part of the shoe. You might see something.
Yeah, I usually just take the insole out and I start smelling it.
Sometimes sometimes it's not there. Sometimes it's there. Sometimes it's not.
Someone told me to sniff it, and it just doesn't work. I don't find the size by doing that. Eric is right. You need, look, when you're at a loss and you can't find the shoe size, look all over the place, under the tongue, on top of the tongue. I've seen them on top of the tongues, like right where the lace is.
Sometimes they're in the bottom
everywhere.
Of the outer sole. Sometimes it's in there and it's everywhere.
Yeah. It does get kind of crazy, and every now and then you're gonna have to toss a pair of shoes. See, like I have the antique booth, so if I have a vintage pair of running shoes or some boots or whatever, anything like that, like if I can't find the shoe size,
you
throw it right in the booth, man. And people will just come right up to it and be like, "Oh, that looks pretty cool. I'll try it on," and then there you go. Okay. Let's we have 8 more minutes in the show. We're gonna bypass this one last question, which is give us 3 ways to get more out of eBay. We're gonna go into the outside of the hustle, like what really motivates you, because I want to get to like this grind of life thing and like what makes people tick. Because when I was in the Green Room Life this morning, I put in a post, and I want people to take a look at it in the Green Room Life. There's a lot of posts that go by, so like it's sometimes hard to see some of these things, but it has to deal with happiness, and it has to deal with, what really makes you tick, and like, are you taking actions on the things that you really, really care about? Because I think this is really important. A lot of people chase the money and everything at the expense of like their health, at the expense of like a lot of things that sometimes don't matter. It's not even aligned up with what they care about, but for some reason, they, the money persists over everything, right? So outside of the hustle, Aisha, what motivates you?
My kids first, number one, providing a good life for my kids, and being able to spend the time with them that I want to, and I guess just having the flexibility, of being my own boss. I don't have to go to a 9 to 5, and I can go to school events and things like that. That really motivates me to just keep doing what I'm doing, because it's allowing me to live the life that I want to live.
There you go. And for all the people out there, she did make it to the Green Room meetup this year. All right, in July with her 4 kiddos.
Yeah.
And
very cute kids, really cute kids.
And they did all the event. I mean, most of the events. You were there at the pinball place. I mean, you were at the dinner. I mean,
midnight, up past midnight. Couldn't believe it.
Yeah. I was doing the beanbag toss with your daughter, like out in the back where the rocking chairs were, and Margaret was there. And anyway, we're one big family in the Green Room. So, but all I'm saying is like the power of the hustle, the grind of life. And if that's what motivates Aisha, then, everyone gets motivated by something. So you got to dig deep and figure out what makes you happy, and then chase that all the way through. Leland, outside of the hustle, what motivates you?
Mad props, Aisha. I can't even imagine, I know how exhausted I am by myself doing this. You just mad respect, girl. What motivates me is I have an end goal in mind, and that usually changes every year. But one of my longer term ones is just to live in a house that has, a big yard where I can just go out and not worry about chaos. I'm not saying I live in the worst of neighborhoods or anything, but I just want something more quiet. I mean, I'm going to be 40 soon, and I just need something more calm. The freedom aspect is obviously one of the best parts about this business, but you have to learn to balance it all, just like we were talking about last week or the week before in the Green Room meetup. It was great. Or the Green Room show, sorry. Mm-hmm. But just getting me and my wife to a place where we can relax and wake up every morning and have a big yard for the dogs. Just, the picket fence.
No, I hear you. So let me go into, is there anything that you're working on in the background, Leland? Like outside of I know you explained some of the, I guess they're kind of goals, right? You want to get to a quiet place, right? Less distractions. But is there anything that you're working on in the background, just behind the scenes? It could be merch, it could be anything. Is there anything else that kind of interests you that you're starting to like maybe take some tiny steps towards?
Yeah, merch was on my list just because of the labor aspect. You know, I really want to learn that. I just don't know how creative I am, but I also am actually meeting with somebody tomorrow about going over, maybe it's an outreach place where I'll just buy inventory in bulk and pay them for it. That, you know, a lot of these places, you have to remember, they don't have a lot of room. I mean, even Goodwill's giving away 80% of the stuff. So keep that in mind and build relationships and talk to these people. And if you can get into these smaller time stores that, you know, you can really make a difference in, go for it.
Right. Aisha, are you working on anything in the background right now?
I am. Because I'm doing eBay a lot more, and I'm going to be moving soon to a city that doesn't have quite as many garage sales as I'm used to. So I've been researching ways to get larger amount of inventory faster, you know, because we all have such limited time. So I'm researching, you know, buying pallets, buying, you know, the truckloads of inventory, and possibly hiring an employee, you know, that'll come in and help me manage, you know, everything.
Wow. Are you going to do something like bulk.com or things like that?
No, I prefer local for right now, just to get started and see, you know, how it goes.
Smart.
Wow.
Are you going to give that employee a weekly allowance?
That's negotiable. We'll see.
Oh man, that's funny. Okay, let's go into both ladies on this question real quick. Leland, I'll go with you first. Are you into fitness and sports and all that kind of stuff? I know that you say that you work out early in the morning after dropping off your wife at work, right? So what does that workout? Is that like a gym, or is that like a run? Like what kind of workout is this?
No, I just walk. You know, I was really hardcore into the gym, not necessarily the gym thing, but like really high intensive stuff for a long time. And, you know, I pull my back out of whack, and I know that's not an excuse. I did listen to that Green Room Life show. But, you know, walking is my thing. You have to find your thing that works for you. And, you know, walking is what does it for me. And you can do that anywhere. So.
And you can bring the dogs.
And well, that's the thing. They get exercise. I get exercise. It all works out. Every morning, 3 to 4 miles.
You know, like back in the 80s, people would wear those like jazzercise outfits and like with those little swinging weights, you know, and like a headband. And they would go to like malls. Like early in the, you know what I'm talking about? Like before the stores would open, but the mall would be open.
Yeah.
And just start like trucking it in those malls, man. I see like a bunch of like older in the malls here in Austin, like when I worked at them early in the morning, which was way back in the day. They would always be older ladies.
What store did you used to work at in the mall? Name one store. I'll name one after you.
Okay, I'll name one. Abercrombie and Fitch.
I used to work at American Eagle.
At what?
American
Eagle.
Oh man, dude, that place. Anyway, I used to work at Structure as well.
Then I went to Costa Rica.
Yeah, I did Structure as well, which was bought by Express, I think. Anyway, yeah, but Abercrombie and Fitch, I worked that many years. That was a crazy job. Anyway, yeah, jazzercise is. I always see like, you know, people in there, like older ladies, like in these full blown like Jane Fonda looking things, just like cruising around with these like weights and the headband. I'm like, oh man, I feel lazy. So, okay, Aisha, you've been posting, you know, cool pictures in the Green Room Life. You shooting hoops and all this kind of stuff at beaches. Are you into fitness and sports and all that kind of stuff, or like walking, basketball? You like basketball, don't you? Shooting hoops?
I do. Yeah, I love you know, just free shooting basketball. I like rollerblading. That's my latest thing.
Oh,
absolutely
right.
love rollerblading.
Cool.
Yes, I do that. I love walking. I love going to the beach. Just not getting too close to the water.
When you got the rollerblade, did you pick them up at like a thrift and then just was like, hey, I want to start rollerblading? Or did you like have the idea you wanted to start rollerblading and you went on Amazon and bought some brand new rollerblades?
Well, actually, I had the idea that I wanted to start rollerblading, and then Lee from the Green Room, he found a pair that was in my size at his thrift store. It was like,
he mailed them to you, or did he hand deliver them?
We had a sourcing trip planned, so he just brought them when he came. It was
wow,
awesome.
That's awesome. Shout out to Lee.
Yep.
Yeah, shout out to Bonafide Hustler for hooking you up with really sweet Vans shoes.
That's right. Those are my shoes.
I hooked her up with a pair of Hello Kitty Vans. Hello Kitty Vans that were I could have made
Ankle
good, I
highs,
could have made good money.
right?
I could have made good money on those. I know I could have, but it's not about that. Like I know she has this thing with Hello Kitty.
Love
And,
it.
when I found them, I was like, anything Hello Kitty I see these days, like anything, I'll think of Aisha. I don't think of anything else. I don't think of like Harajuku girls or Gwen Stefani videos, or I don't think of any of those things anymore. I think of Aisha of all things when I see a Hello Kitty. Anything, it's weird.
Awesome.
But yeah, you love Hello Kitty. I know that now.
Yep.
Still on the hunt for like anything Hello Kitty for you. I will find you more stuff.
Oh, awesome. Definitely the vintage stuff. The vintage. It's my
Okay.
favorite.
Yeah, that's
Yep.
one of those things that you put a post in the green room about like just looking up various vintage Hello Kitty things. So people out there on YouTube land, check it out on eBay, Completeds, and put in vintage Hello Kitty. Would that be a fair amount of keywords to put in vintage Hello Kitty and just start researching what you can find? Yes or no?
I would do vintage Sanrio, Sanrio, and that'll
Okay.
pull up Hello Kitty and all of the other characters that are in
Sanrio?
Sanrio.
S-A-N? All right.
R-I-O. Uh-huh.
I'm going to totally put a post when I find some of this stuff. Okay.
There we go.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to zoom through 2 more questions here. And I want you to take a second to think about this one, okay? So Eric and I are going to answer first while Leland and Swafford, Aisha, think about their answer, okay? So Eric, I'll let you go first. Define happiness.
Oh my gosh, dude! You just asked me
Yeah.
like, what is the meaning of life?
I know, I did. That's what it's about, man.
I don't have kids yet, and I really do think kids are like, I think they're like unconditional happiness. I was spending time with my nephew, so I'm gonna go with kids. Kids are happiness.
Okay, so that's happiness for you. I will go with saying spending time with wife, friends, and family, like over anything, over money, over anything. Like that's just the most important thing. So yeah, and I mean it's just spending time. You don't have to like go on any crazy vacations or anything. I'm just like talk to them and just sit there and like shoot the you know what with them. There.
Sit around a fire and
Yeah, like fire. Like that's just one of those things that cost nothing. Well, it cost some firewood, but in a $10 fire pit I found in a garage sale. But it really doesn't cost much.
Yeah, it's so primitive and it transcends like time.
It's kind of like
sit around
coffee.
a
Like
fire.
anytime you bring coffee or wine into a picture, it's like everyone comes together and everyone starts talking. Like it's kind of cool like that. So fires are real neat. So yeah, that plus some sticks and some marshmallows, like everyone's happy, man. It's just one of those things. So that's my happiness. Leland, define happiness.
Well, how can I top yours now? You're sounding all nice and sweet.
No, it's whatever. It's whatever.
I mean,
makes
it's
you
true though.
happy.
I mean, that makes me happy. People overlook the simple things. They really do. There's, that's why everybody says, you read all these articles about like, use money on experiences, not products, because you're going to remember that forever, and the product you might get sick of, as old, it doesn't matter if we get older, we're just like the kids opening the presents underneath the Christmas tree. When it comes down to it, we get sick of stuff after 10 minutes as well. So experiences are definitely huge. I kind of came up with like a blanket answer, I guess, mutually beneficial, respectful relationships. It's so hard to find good people that, aren't just after one thing or another, so finding those people and holding on to them is really what's about for me.
That's good. I like that. We have Ozan in the comments saying happiness is if you can live in the moment. If you can live in the moment. Man, that's like really deep. Anyway.
That's good.
I like that one. Daniel Justin says happiness equals being in the green room. All right. So that's pretty funny.
I'm sure you can be happy and not be in the green room.
This guy cannot be happy without the green room. I'm telling you right now. Okay, so we'll go with Aisha on define happiness.
Yeah, I'm with all of you all. To define happiness, it would definitely be all the things that money can't buy. For me, the friends, the family, the quality time, even interacting with people just while I'm out hustling. And now I want to give kind of a shout out to Jameson. He and we had discussed it before, and something that we called, what we do, one of the reasons for our hustle is to earn freedom units. And it's not money, but it's the freedom, what the money allows you to do, the freedom to travel and provide experiences, like Leland was saying, to your family. So happiness is freedom units to me.
I like that, freedom units. That's my key takeaway. And Sanrio so far. my big takeaways. Anyway, Lee Chube has a really funny comment in there. I'm not going to read it because it's really like
I can imagine.
kind of risque. But anyway, the very last question or last, I'll ask you this really quickly. Leland, are you coming to the July meetup? Yes or no?
I hope so.
Okay, cool. Good enough for me. Aisha, are you going to come to the meetup?
Absolutely.
All right, you were there last. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. And then the very last question, I'm just curious, and this is just pure curiosity. Like, Leland, if you were to describe the green room to people that are not in the room, like, how would you do it? Like, what would you say in a simple sentence or two, whatever?
I mean, basically, the green room is the first Facebook group I've been a part of where I can like really relate to the people. I mean, I've established relationships with people in this room, and I haven't even met them yet. Like, I mean, listen to Aisha's story about, you know, Lee picking her up rollerblades. I mean, nobody's ever done that in another group that I've ever heard about. So it's just, you know, the people, like, you can literally reach out to pretty much anybody in that room with as many as there are, and they'll help you out.
Okay, cool. Thank you. And Aisha, how would you describe the green room to people that are not in the room?
Green room is definitely, they're more than just friends. They're family to me. They really are. The people that get me, that can understand what, you know, what I do day in and day out. They're the people I can turn to when, you know, when I'm having a good day. It's just that family support that I need that a lot of times you don't find, you know, because families, you know, sometimes just don't understand what we do. Yeah.
I get it. No, I totally get it. That's right. Like, sometimes not even my wife understands everything, but
Exactly.
the room seems to really appreciate it, and so do the people that watch my videos on YouTube. But yeah, it is a very niche kind of thing. You know, people are always like, "Wow, great flip," and then it's like they don't want to hear anything else about it. But like, you go to other places and other thrifting groups or the green room, and you post something, everyone's just like, "Oh my god! Like, where'd you get it from? Like, what did you do?" You know, so it is fun. I get it. I do get it. It's very biased for me because I helped create it, right? Of course, and it's just weird, but like, it turned into a monster that not even I saw like what it would be. But I am really proud of it. So I'm always curious to know the answers to that one question, just being a founding member of it. So anyway, College Picker, feeling pretty good to end the show. We are 8 minutes over. I do apologize to, but
yeah, it's late here on the East. It's late on the East Coast.
I know, these are the green room ladies, man. We go 8 minutes over for the green room ladies. And we still have more green room ladies to put on the show too, and some good ones. And you'll see. Not to say that these aren't good, but you know what I'm saying. Some good ones that are. I've been like dying to have them on too, and it's hard to get all. Everyone's very busy right now. It's fourth quarter. I realize I'm like, oof. Like, this is a tough part of the year to get anybody on a show, but I do want to take a second and thank both you ladies for being here. I had a lot of fun, and it was just a blast. Leland's always smiling. Aisha's always smiling. Aisha was nervous before the show, and she did perfectly fine. I thought she did amazing.
Yeah. You did awesome.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, of course, you did amazing. I can't wait to see you again at the meetup. I'll probably have something Hello Kitty for you, Aisha.
Awesome.
And then fun fact about Leland, you were actually in a Gary V short clip, weren't you?
I don't know. Yeah, I was.
So if you know what we're talking about, or if you know Gary Vaynerchuk very well and you've seen all his little videos, there's one about you're going to die. Am I right about this one?
Yes, sir.
So
I get like I don't know, weird about it because I don't want anybody to think I'm like
stalking the guy.
No, but that was a really cool thing, though. So yeah, we'll end the show on the premise of what you talked about in a very short amount of time, that he had a cab window down or an Uber window down, and you somehow recognized him. Am I right about this?
Yeah, he was a keynote speaker, and he got swarmed after he was done. And I said, you know, screw that, and started walking to my train and noticed a guy sitting in his Uber car, and it was him. So, you know, that split second, I had, you know, a decision to make, and I decided, you know, to walk up to him. And I was trying to come up with something good to ask him because he, you know, he's a pretty big guy, well known, and I was trying to think of something good. And I guess it resonated, and it humbles me to see how it's not only affected myself but a lot of other people.
What did you exactly ask him, and what was his response? And that's going to cap our show off. What was it exactly?
I asked him if, you were having a bad day, because I was having a bad day like that day before, and I got these tickets on a whim to go to this speech. And, I said, if you're having a bad day, what 3 words would you tell somebody to make them feel better? Maybe that's not verbatim, but
Yeah.
he said, you're going to die. And I was like, whoa. And it's funny because I've talked to a few people about it, and they kind of had the same reaction I did on the video when they first heard it. And but it just really changed my life. I know it's weird, and some people don't like the guy and whatever, but I respect the guy and like that he built stuff from the ground up, just like we all try to do here. And it really hit me, and I haven't stopped since.
That's right. He said, you're going to die, and basically go for it, take the next step. You only live once, all those little acronyms, but you know what I'm saying? Basically, you're going to die means do something about it. That's what he said. Do something. That's what you said, maybe. So do something about it.
That's what she said.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I said.
So there you go. That's how we're going to cap off the show. If you want to find out more about the lovely ladies that are here on this broadcast, you can join the green room, find them in there. But of course, if you're from the green room, you know exactly who you're seeing here on the screen. I do want to say thank you for being here on Wednesday night with us, and we will see you on next Wednesday. It'll more than likely be on Rakin's channel. Until then, thanks for tuning in. Make sure to hit that like button. We'll see you guys later. Take it easy.
Thanks, Chris.
Bye.
Thanks, Chris.